How are you? How are you? I'm all right. Thank you for asking. Pretty good. Welcome to Inside the Video Store. This weekly look inside one of the last remaining movie rental stores in the UK. As always, thank you very much to my new subscribers this week. Welcome on board. Let me know if you're new. What do you think? Is it weird looking at a movie rental store? And sorry, I just noticed the box back the wrong way around, and that's going to irritate me. But I'm going to let it go. Is it weird looking at a... no, I've got to do it. Is it weird looking at a movie rental store in 2026? There we go. I can relax now. Whew! That would have been a long hour. It was Jade, William Friedkin's film. Yeah, so thanks for joining me. Thank you for coming along. It's a Wednesday today. We're going to do it all in one, which is kind of nice for a change. It's sometimes nice to do it bit by bit, but sometimes it's just nice to get out the way on a Wednesday. Sorry, that looked like a smacking action. Nice to get it all out the way on a Wednesday so I can kind of relax on a Thursday, Friday, knowing that it's uploaded. Because sometimes when you do half on a Friday morning, you're kind of a little bit twitchy because you're uploading to YouTube, which takes about 2 hours. And then you kind of think, oh, can I make that 5 o'clock deadline? Not that anybody really would be bothered. Yes, you would be if it was late. But, you know, I'm a pedantic person that likes accuracy and precision and things like that. And consistency, it's important. Consistency is important. So what do we got today? Well, we got some... let's keep on to it. What is that thing? So we have some new releases, which are predominantly boutique orientated. We have a little bit of what's in the box with a parcel over there that's very exciting indeed. We have an early teaser new release of something that should be in next week, but I've got it this week. We have some very cool films on loan, which is nice, and we have some news. Now, this is exciting. Now, well done to Jude. Well done to Jude, because young Jude, who's 20 years old, was the first person in the UK to buy a copy of the Physical Media Advocate from a shop in person. Yeah, really, really, really proud to be the official UK seller of the Physical Media Advocate. It is, of course, a magazine created by Ryan Verrill a couple of years ago now. And it's grown and grown and grown, and it's a great little piece of work. This issue is about 50 pages, full colour. Got some great articles there by a number of very cool writers. You got a release list of films that's coming out in the month. It's a monthly magazine. You got Rachel Belwar, Jacob Brune, Stan Giesa, Chris Haskell, Connor Holt, Uncle Cadaver. Not his real name. Jeremy Long, Jim Tudor, Ryan Verrill, David Winnick, all contributing to the magazine. Like I say, some really good articles. It's a monthly magazine. Ryan, you may know, is the guy behind The Disc Connected. Brilliant resource. If you want to check him out on Instagram and on Facebook, it's The Disc Connected. All your news of forthcoming releases. It's for someone like me. It's the kind of resource that I couldn't live without, because there's so many different companies, so many different boutique labels, and what Ryan does is every time someone announces a forthcoming release, he posts it on his feed, and it just enables me to keep up to date with my diary of what's coming out in the future, without having to go spend ages and hours, searching around. So Ryan is an absolute inspiration. He's just quit his job because he wants to do all this kind of thing full time. So, he's got a young family. So it's a big deal. So I'm trying to support as much as I can. So by having this magazine in store, then at least it means that someone like him, he's based in America, someone like him can hopefully live his dream and, do great things in the world of home entertainment. But as I say, it's a great magazine. It's stored just in a little magazine rack just inside the horror section there. And honestly, it's a really good piece of work, which has a lot of effort and a lot of talented people contributing to it. So check it out. And if you like it, you can buy it from me. I'm selling it for cost price as well. So I'm not making a penny. More news. I tell you, I've just been on the road, which was fun. And happens to coincide with the latest episode of Pure Cinema Podcast being released, which is today, Wednesday, the 25th of March. Great episode today. Once more, my friend Brian and his buddy Elric have got Quentin Tarantino on the show. And Quentin is telling us all about the life and career of William Bodine. Now, this is one of those stupid things. The episode dropped this morning. So I'm like having a cup of coffee at home and a bit of breakfast. I'm thinking, William Bodine. Rings a bell, that name. I wonder if I've got any films directed by William Bodine. So you get the database out and you type William Bodine into the database. And 30 films. 30 films by William Bodine? So in Snips, William Bodine is among the most populated directors. And I'm like, right, okay. He made in his career many films, I think almost 200. Many for Poverty Row Studios, mega B movies. But he started out with quite a career. He was in the same circle as Mac Sennett. He's in the same circle as D.H. Birth of a Nation guy. I want to say D.H. Lawrence. I don't think that's correct, is it? But you know the guy. So he was in big circles, but things didn't necessarily go to plan. He came to England in the early 30s or the mid 30s because some of the English comedians wanted to use his comedic talent as a director. People like Will Hay and George Formby. So he spent 4 years in England, but that killed his American career. So when he went back to his career in America, he had no career. So he had to do kind of the lowest poverty row movies, but he made really great films. And this episode, Quentin picks out 5 of the best because they're playing a number of them next month at the New Beverly. And just a really great episode. It's a schooling episode, someone I knew nothing about. And now, after 3 hours and 20 minutes, I feel as though I know a lot more. And just a fascinating character. I love these people in the film business that just kind of exist below the precipice, just under the radar. And then you kind of have this wall of information thrown at you for 3 hours. It's like, wow, that's really, really interesting. And I'm going to make sure that I take home some William Bodine films this week and check them out. Most of them that I've got at Snips are in the Bowery Boys collection. You familiar with the Bowery Boys? Let me go and get a Bowery Boys set. Bowery Boys belong in the Warner Archive section. It's a collection of 48 movies. 48 movies all around this group of kind of cheeky chappies who would do, anything for a quick book and that kind of thing. There we go. All 4 volumes of the Bowery Boys. I think Bodine directed quite a few of these. There's one. There's about 2 or 3 on each box. I can see 4 there. He did a lot of work with the Bowery Boys, which are really cool little short movies, all about an hour in duration. But you can knock off 2 in a night easy. His British ones are really, really interesting though. Here's one, Dandy Dick with Will Hay. This is from 1935. Obviously, this was made when he came over to the UK for a short period of time. So that's Dandy Dick. And then we have one here on the Ealing Studios Rarities Collection, Volume 14, which is Feather Your Nest, which is a George Formby film. George Formby comedy from 1937, which ironically is on the same disc as The Sign of Four. The Sign of Four, an early version of the Sherlock Holmes story, which is from 1932 and stars Arthur Wantner. But these are great little collections. I was saying to Roxy and Paddy when we were in last night that nobody looks at these narrow DVDs that are stored beneath the counter. They're all network releasing, a company that have now gone by the by. As part of the British film, they're all branded with this graphic, the British film. And I think it was part of a network bought, I think it was somewhere in the region of 300 to 400 films from a French company, and they were all British films. I can't think, it might have been Gaumont or something like that. But they gradually released a handful every single month, and I tried to get the most of them. But sadly, it's one of those things where you just can't keep up, even though they were really well priced, about $7.99, $8.99 a piece. But it's made me kind of think I should really go back and fill in a few of the missing gaps before they become completely unobtainable. Because when these are out print now, you can't get these now, maybe secondhand. But the longer we go on, these films will never be seen again anywhere. And I can say that quite definitively. They will never be seen again. So it's important to kind of have a record and an archive of films like this, especially films from this country that are now getting on for 90, 95, 100 years old. So yeah, that was my thing today, my lesson on William Bodine. I tell you what's interesting. This is interesting. I just speaking to Brian before I came on air, and obviously he texted and I said, great work on the episode. It's fantastic. And he said, oh, yeah, we're just a bit worried because obviously, we do get a few negative comments when we do an episode with Quentin. And I thought, it's not weird. Isn't that just the weirdest thing? I've never understood that disdain for Quentin Tarantino. Yes, he says some things at times, Paul Dano, that people might not necessarily agree with, but I don't think anyone could knock his passion or his knowledge. I mean, the guy is an absolute fountain of knowledge about aspects of the film business that people like me and you couldn't even begin to give any kind of lecture or talk on. So to me, he is one of my absolute heroes. And I just when Brian said that, I thought, how could people be negative? But they are. People don't like nice things, I guess. People don't like nice things, and people get very defensive when folk know more than they do. I think there are certain people who I believe, they don't like people knowing more than they do, and they feel quite put out by that because, I don't know. I think it's important. It's one of the things I've always tried to foster here, and that I've always tried to put across to people that I know very little, and I'm interested in what you know just as much as what I know. Because I've learned so much from other people who have come in and told me about filmmakers like Jacques Rivette and Robert Bresson and Celine Sciamma and Olivier Assayas and people like that, which I wouldn't know the foggiest about. But having such an eclectic group of customers who are really, really clever when it comes to films, they know incredible amounts of detail. There's nothing better for me than to listen to people like that who know more than me about a certain aspect of filmmaking. Now, if you need to know anything about David Dakota films, I'm your guy. If you need to know anything about Full Moon, I'm your guy. But we each have a little specialist subject, don't we? And I think it's great to collaborate, and it's great to listen, and it's great to learn. And that's the thing about the Pure Cinema podcast. That this week, I'm learning about a filmmaker that I knew virtually nothing about, which is cool. So we should celebrate that. Right. Moving on. No BBC, by the way. No BBC. They went to today was meant to be the filming day. Where are they? What's going on, BBC? You were dead excited on the phone saying, oh, yeah, this sounds great. We're going to come down. We're going to interview you for half an hour. We're going to speak to some customers. We're going to do this, going to do that. Anyway, that's broadcasting for you. That's broadcasting. Right, let's get on to the new releases. Let's do this one first, very quickly. I'm taking it home tonight. Just so nobody can get their hands on it, because I know as soon as I put this on the shelf, this will be out for the rest of the year. It's hard-boiled. It is hard-boiled. It's out next week. It's out on Monday. I went for the Blu-ray, but of course I had a heart flutter on Monday because I pre-ordered the Blu-ray. I thought I'm going to pre-order this a week in advance. I thought let's be on the ball with this. Going to be a hot one. Went to HMV, sold out. Sold out a week ahead of release. I thought I'm never going to get it. And I thought, well, I'll go to Arrow. And I thought, the problem is I've done this before. I did this with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I ordered The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly a week in advance. They didn't ship it. They didn't have the numbers. So I thought, I'll try it. I'll pre-order it. But I don't think they're going to ship it. And lo and behold, an hour after I pre-ordered it, it was in the post. So here it is, Hard-Boiled, John Woo's mega film from 1992. Another Golden Princess title from Arrow Video. It's a lavish Blu-ray with just a ridiculous amount of special features. Yeah, so this is me taking it home tonight. I've got a new sofa today, living it large. I'm middle class apparently because I have a reclining sofa. So Roxy tells me I'm middle class. So probably am middle class anyway, to be honest. So yeah, new sofa tonight. So I'm going to christen my new sofa. If that's the terminology, it probably isn't. That's probably a wrong terminology. I'm going to christen the new sofa with Hard-Boiled on Blu-ray, which is very exciting. So yeah, very cool indeed. But yeah, on with the good stuff. On with the new releases. Like I said, there's only two contemporary release. I think there was a Stallone film out this week, but it's another one of those sort of cash for cameos films. Doesn't look that great, so I thought I'll leave that alone. So we have Anaconda. I don't know what to make of this really, because I spent some time with Hans Bauer. Random. Spent some time with Hans Bauer a few years ago. And he's the guy who created, he's the guy that wrote the book Anaconda. And we were writing a very large booklet that ended up vast for the Anaconda Blu-ray for 88 films. Anyway, spent some time on the phone or what have you. Nice guy. Obviously, he made a bit of money from this film, even though the first film wasn't to the book. The book is very different to the first film. But this just looks vastly different. I mean, this is a full-on comedy. When, admittedly, the first film did have elements of comedy, not least Jon Voight's propensity for a very louche leer. But yeah, so I don't really know what to make of it. It does not make me have any inclination to watch it in any capacity. But hey, so there we are. That is this week's lead title, which is Anaconda. The other contemporary title this week is Saipan, which looks good fun. If you have an interest in football, this looks at the battle between Roy Keane and Mick McCarthy. Never did I think I'd say Mick McCarthy on Inside the Video Stuff. When they just prior to the World Cup of 2002, where they did a bit of a ding dong, to say the least. Yeah, looks an interesting piece of work, to be honest. So that is out on Blu-ray this week. It's Saipan. So that's contemporaries and the boutiques. I mean, you got to start with this, haven't you? I mean, look at this. How sexy is that? Another epic Radiance box set. This one is it's Takashi Miike. It's a Takashi Miike threesome. How do you get 3 Takashi Miike films? His career is vast. But what they've done, they've kind of made an underworld thing. So we have Fudo, The New Generation, which is from one of an early one, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's 1996. Then we have Agitator, and then we have Deadly Outlaw Wrecker. One of these films is not like the others. I believe it's, I'm going to say Agitator. I'm wrong. It's Fudo, The New Generation. This is a 4K disc and a Blu-ray as well. So predominantly just Blu-ray in this set, but we do have the one 4K disc, and that's with Fudo, which is about a struggling high school student who has a secret life operating as an underworld crime boss. Indeed. So yeah, Takashi Miike, The Underworld Chronicles, another great, awesome box set from Radiance. Also from Radiance this week, we have The Dancing Hawk, which is a Polish film from 1977. It's been compared in some respects to Citizen Kane in terms of its narrative. It sounds absolutely fascinating, to be honest. All about the psychic toll of capitalism and urbanization. Well, we know all about that, don't we? We know all about that. But yeah, that is The Dancing Hawk, which is out this week from Radiance, who have a flash sale on at the moment. I must take a look at that when I get back home. No good for you today, unfortunately. And the Criterion US. Now, this is an interesting one for you. I don't buy anything from Criterion US, but I'm tempted. I'm tempted to get that Greg Araki set on 4K UHD because I know it will be region free. It's dropped a fair bit. And it's just, is it too teasing to have that in the Criterion section? Because I know so many people will pick it up and think it's a Blu-ray and then have to put it back down again. But I think I'm going to get it because I think to myself, well, look at all the other 4K only discs you've got, really, or the other 4K / Region A Blu-ray discs you've got, like the Cinematograph films and some Vinegar Syndrome films there as well, like Body of Evidence that came in, Jade, Garbage Pail Kids. So I'm tempted. I think it doesn't look like we're going to get that Greg Araki trilogy over here in any capacity, which is pretty devastating, to be honest. So I think I will plump for the 4K while it's on this Criterion Flash sale. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Sticking with Radiance, or Radiance adjacent, we have the new Transmission release. These seem to be flowing thick and fast at the moment. It is special effects. I had this on a Blu-ray anyway, which was from a European release. But this Transmission Blu-ray of Larry Cohen's film from 1984. Well, it's a bit more exciting, isn't it? We have a new commentary on there by Steve Mitchell, who, of course, made the great King Cohen documentary. We have a new interview with Eric Bogosian, the lead actor, and a feature-length career-spanning interview with Larry, the late, great Larry himself. That's special effects on the Transmission label, Radiant Adjacent. 2 from 88. They are both from the filmmaker Mika Ninagawa, a very exciting female filmmaker from Japan. Jasper Sharp is curating these discs, and it looks like he's done a very fine job. We have Helter Skelter, and we have Severin. Helter Skelter is from 2012. Severin is from 2007. And yeah, Helter Skelter is based on a manga. It's kind of a lurid body horror, so that looks quite something. And Severin is noted for its super saturated colors and striking art design. I think the lady who directed these has a background in art, so I think look at the cases. Look at the cases. They are, they scream high-class artist, to be honest. So they're quite interesting releases that are going direct into the 88 Films Japanic section, which resides just down here. 2 to go. Now, I'm on the Hammer bandwagon, as you know. We got in... what did we get in? What was last month's release? I forget, to be honest. It was pretty good as well. Whistling Dixie. No, Whistling Smith goes to London, possibly. Well, this time we have a space noir. Space noir. Interesting. Spaceways. Sounds like a supermarket. Spaceways is the latest release from Hammer. That is the bona fide Hammer. Well, it's not really a bona fide Hammer, is it? Just someone bought the name. 1953, this one comes from. Sounds fascinating. As I say, it is a space noir. It just sounds fantastic. It's about a guy who's the chief engineer on the world's first space station. But he happens to be married to a gold-digging shrew. When an unmanned rocket fails re-entry at the same time as his wife and a fellow scientist go missing, Stephen is accused of killing them both and hiding their bodies in the orbiting spacecraft. Sounds amazing. We've got this on both Blu-ray and 4K UHD. Like I said, it's from 1953, and I do really like the work that Hammer are doing with these lesser-known titles. I just find it fantastic, to be honest. So great. And I have believe it or not, people, I have a spare week coming up, a week on Monday. I think it's the 6th of April. That'll be a bank holiday, won't it? There are no films. There are no releases. I think there might be one or two contemporary releases, but there are no films. There's no boutique releases. So, you kind of budget for every week. I'm a weekly budgeter, not a monthly budgeter. Now, we do have a very, very heavy final week of the month. However, I think that first week of the month, I'm going to catch up with a few things that I've missed out on. Believe it or not, I do miss out on stuff. So the earlier Hammer restorations that I haven't got, stuff like the Sherwood Forest one, and there's another one as well. And some Jackie Chan's. Believe it or not, I've missed out on a couple of Jackie Chan's that came out last year from 88 on 4K UHD and Blu-ray. Some great restorations there. So I think we'll do a little bit of catch-up. We're commencing the 6th, and we'll just fill in a few blanks. We don't have many blanks these days, such has been the ferocity in which I've kind of caught up with most major physical releases. But there are still a couple. So if you know there's anything sort of important that's missing from the Snips archive that you think is an essential item, then please let me know, and I will pencil it in for that week. Finally, in the boutique releases, we have The Cruel Tale of Bushido. Tadashi Imai was best known for dramas, but then he directed Revenge. I think Revenge has been renting very, very well. I presume it's the same. Yeah, and now this is Cruel Tale of Bushido. These samurai films are coming thick and fast, but more on that later. So yeah, 1963, Cruel Tale of Bushido. It's the latest in Eureka's amazing journey through classic Japanese cinema. Right, next up we have the old What's on loan? Yeah, it's funny. As I said at the start of the show, it's funny how nobody rents those thin-spined network releasing titles. No, behold, somebody has rented a thin-spined network releasing title, but it's on my recommendation. I had to say to Roxy and Pedro last night that contained in that section is one of the greatest revenge films you will ever see. Handgun. You seen it? Very, very good. It's made by Tony Garnett. It's actually set in... Tony Garnett wrote Kes, by the way. It's set in Texas, but it's a British film at its core, and it's a stupendous piece of work. 1984. I think Canadian International Pictures put it out, or someone put it out. No, not Canadian International. Maybe Deaf Crocodile put it out on Blu-ray under a different title on a regional lock DVD, on a regional lock Blu-ray. So I'm kind of hanging on to this immense DVD from Network. But yeah, really great to see this going out, because this is the definition of a hidden gem. Next up, Dominic's been recommending to his heart's content, so Mark Isaac's box set has gone out again, this time to a new customer. Great to see some of the greatest documentaries I've seen. Really powerful stuff. Really, really powerful stuff. But good to see another documentary, class documentary, going out on loan. Speaking of class documentaries going out on loan, Paris is Burning is our Jenny Livingston's unbelievable documentary that pays tribute to the vibrant subculture of New York's drag balls of the late 1980s. Essential viewing, essential documentary. I mentioned The Chaser going out on loan last week. It's to a young couple that are coming in. They don't have any internet, so I'm hoping when they get internet, they're still going to rent movies, because they should do. You know, they're renting movies because they have no internet, but hopefully when they get internet, they will continue to rent movies. They will have got the bug. They like Korean films. The Chaser was what they took last week. This week, I gave them The Yellow Sea, which I am partial to. I saw this at the cinema, believe it or not. It's a great film from the director of The Chaser. And yeah, I hope they like it. It's a bit of a long one, isn't it? I think. I forget how long it is, but yeah. So on their Korean journey. After Midnight rented out this week, which I'm pretty happy about, to be honest. One of my customers, Neil, has been going through the Benson and Moorhead library. And he's kind of got to this, even though it isn't Benson and Moorhead per se, it is kind of Benson and Moorhead adjacent. Everything is adjacent, isn't it? Because it's produced behind, from the team behind those movies. After Midnight, I like it. I like it a great deal. Directed by Jeremy Gardner and Christian Stella. The film they started out with was The Battery. And believe it or not, The Battery is contained here on a extra Blu-ray. And I said to Neil, try your best to watch The Battery, because in my opinion, it's one of the great zombie movies of the last 15 years. I really, really love it. Let's see what he thinks. Henry was in yesterday. New customer, comes all the way from Manchester, which is an hour each way, and in a time of increasing fuel prices, that's a very, very admirable commitment. He said he started watching Don't Go in the Woods alone a few nights ago on Prime Video, but it was such a shocking transfer that he decided to stop watching it. So he rented the Blu-ray instead, which is one of the first releases in the 88 Films Slasher Classics collection. And I said to him, well, the Blu-ray, Henry, will improve the film endlessly, because it's a terrible film. But hey, at least it's important to see a terrible film in 1080p rather than a shocking transfer hosted by Jeff Bezos. I meant to say last week that this came in, which is a lovely Criterion release of Jacques Demy films. And they've been renting like clockwork, renting like hell this week, including The Young Girls of Rochefort, which was one of the first ones to rent out, which is very exciting indeed. A film that I've never had in stock here. So, and lo and behold, I got this in. Someone came in the next day and asked for this film, even though they didn't know that I had the box set in, which was pretty cool. So if I had not got the box set in, they would have been disappointed. One of those weird coincidence / fate things, but it's a lovely box set. And I think now I am complete with the Criterion box sets, because I have one special one to show you very shortly. Office Space rented out, Staplers Beware. Love this film to bits. Haven't seen it in far too long, but it's great. And Stephen Root is heroic in that film. The Arbor was a film that Cleo Barnard directed. Stunning piece of work, devastating piece of work. True story of playwright Andrea Dunbar. I think Dan Draper and Dylan Cubbin, the two documentarians that visit Snips, they mentioned it on their 5 films, and it is a brilliant, stunning piece of work. And I hope the customer that rented it really does like it, because it's great. And finally, this one, beautiful thing. Forget who rented it, but I said to them, this is probably one of the most lovely, lovely, gorgeous romances that you could ever imagine. It's a film by Hetty MacDonald. It's based on a play by Jonathan Harvey, who's a local playwright, made by Channel 4 in 1996. And this is a lush Blu-ray from BFI with a great Manokas soundtrack. And it's a wonderful film. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Okay, that is the On Loans done. We're cooking on gas. Let's just see how long we've been running for. Then it'll either accelerate. Well, it will accelerate my my patter, as they say, as the kids say. Right, let's have a look at this because this is very exciting. Well, yes, it is very exciting indeed. Let's have a look. I don't know what this is. This might not be exciting at all. Yeah, I got this for a steal. Like I say, I'm a bit critical of eBay because, you know, some of the prices on there are a bit offensive, but I got this for around about a tenner. And it's another addition to the Criterion collection at Snips. It is Roman Polanski's film, Macbeth, from 1971. Again, a great addition. Just a great addition. You also get the documentary here from 1971 called Polanski Meets Macbeth. Never seen this, but very, very tempted to do so. We have John Finch in this, Francesca Annie, Martin Shaw. Amazing, yeah. Polanski's Macbeth. Now this I can't show you, so I'm not going to show you this yet. Because the only reason I can't show it to you is it's the new t-shirt design for this year. It's a new t-shirt design and I need it QC'd. I need quality control checked by the artists themselves. So once the artists have checked it, then I shall plaster it all over every conceivable social media thing. That's a little teaser for you. That's a little teaser. There we go. But yeah, this year's new t-shirt design, I love it to bits. And keep your eyes peeled for that when we sort of re-push the merchandise things for spring. Because I think spring is the kind of merchandise thing, t-shirts, bags, stickers, that kind of thing. So we're going to re-push the merchandise in a couple of weeks and kick it all off with that fantastic new t-shirt design. And then finally this, oh my word, how exciting. This one is from the States. This one is from Severin. Yes, you know what it is, don't you? You know what it is. Oh. Covered in dust. Oh, what's it? Here we go. Well, first of all, 4K UHD, we have some Indiana Jones knockoffs for you. We have Jungle Raiders, directed by Anthony M. Dawson, aka Antonio Margheriti. Yeah, this was actually called well, it was his trilogy. The Indiana Jones exploitation trilogy. As one review says on the back here, everything you want in an Indiana Jones ripoff. Deadly traps, wild action, and Lee Van Cleef. Indeed. So yeah, this is the final part of the Indiana Jones exploitation trilogy. So this is part 2. The first film in the Indiana Jones exploitation trilogy by Antonio Margheriti. And this is David Warbeck is in this. John Steiner is in this. Fantastic. And that is called The Hunters of the Golden Cobra. Now, the middle film that goes here already got 88 films released on 4K UHD last year or the year before last. It's called The Ark of the Sun God. It didn't sell very well, according to Richard. Didn't sell very well at all, so they can't be asked getting these two. That's all I wanted to know. I said, guys, are you going to get these two, or shall I get them from Severin? And they're like, no, get them from Severin. We're not having those. Didn't sell. So that's why I picked up those. They're only on 4K UHD. Unfortunately, the Blu-ray is locked, region A. And yeah, I mean, I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie in my life. But I'll be watching these. Because, you can't beat a good Italian exploitation film, even though I would imagine they're very PG friendly, which is cool. So yeah, that is The Hunters of the Golden Cobra and Jungle Raiders on both on 4K UHD. And finally, this is the one with the Severin sticker in there. How many Severin stickers do you need, David? We have an addendum to the Andy Milligan box set. Let's just pick up this WhatsApp. We have an addendum to the Andy Milligan box set. Now, many of you will not have no interest whatsoever in venturing down the Andy Milligan box set route. And who could blame you? He is an acquired taste. I remember Neil renting an Andy Milligan film. It's like, no, not for me. Which is fine. But these are very, very exciting. It's a box set from Severin, a mini box set called Gutter Auteur. Gutter Auteur. It is the lost legacy of Andy Milligan. Pioneer outside auteur, Andy Milligan clawed his way from the depths of 60s independent cinema straight to the abyss of grindhouse infamy like no other filmmaker in history. In this all-new collection of worldwide disc premieres, Severin Films presents two thought lost forever features, written, produced, and directed by the Fassbinder of 42nd Street. We have 1967's post-nuke nihilism, The Degenerates, which was recently discovered in a Brussels vault, and the 1968 underground psychodrama Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, which was found in an Amsterdam archive. Both are restored from their only surviving film elements. And then we have the acclaimed 2025 documentary feature, The Degenerate, the life and films of Andy Milligan. An eye-opening look into one of the weirder and darker corners of cinema history. Wow. We also have an early Milligan project called Compass Rose, and 1979's rarely seen Staten Island Gothic House of Seven Bells, plus over 5 hours of special features that reveal even more of the sordid saga behind one of the exploitation cinema's most fascinating figures. It is just simply one of the most exciting releases of the year, even though I could probably count on one hand the number of people who have rented an Andy Milligan film in the last 3 years from Snips Movies. But who cares? Because one day, people will find these really, really fascinating. So yeah, that's great. This is a region-free box set, so you don't need to have any kind of special player as long as you have a Blu-ray player. But such great stuff. Really excited to dip into that. Right, what else has come in this week? Coffee is probably cold. Okay, I did a bit of catch up. One of my customers, Patrick, asked if I would get in Center Stage because ATA put out a couple of Stanley Kwan films I missed out on. Just the budget wouldn't stretch that week. Now they're down to £7.50 a piece at HMV. So I thought, right, let's get them. The first one has come in. It is Center Stage. Really interesting looking film which transports viewers to China's silent film era and chronicles the extraordinary life and career of legendary actress Ran Ling Yu. Maggie Chung is in this one, so that looks absolutely fantastic. Also, 750 that 88 Films put out. Here's one for Neil. Miami Vice. Miami Vice with Colin Farrell, directed by Michael Mann. We get a 2-disc edition of this because not only do we get the standard theatrical cut, we also get the director's cut as well. So I've heard that is quite an interesting difference on that one. Yeah, certainly that was the case with Black Hat, wasn't it, when Arrow Video put that out in the director's cut? So yeah, we will have to see. We'll have to see. And a lot of people do, live or die by this film, to be honest. A lot of people are really staunch defenders of this movie. So yeah, we'll have to see. Let's go on there. What else we got? What else we got? More catch-ups. Yeah. Crime Story. Jackie Chan's Crime Story. Did not have that. That's a weird one, isn't it? Just fill in a few gaps. And this is another one. I'm trying to formulate, if I can, Mia Hansen Love section. A Mia Hansen Love section. Because one of my customers, Ben, reminded me that I didn't have Things to Come, which is a bit outrageous, really. So yeah, just trying to. I think I've got about 5 in stock at the moment, but just got my eye on another 2 just to pull together her films, because I think she's a really interesting filmmaker. So it would make a lot of sense to have a section devoted to her. So there's Things to Come by Mia Hansen Love. Then we're on to Criterion. Just to finish the show off, we have 3 very exciting Criterion arrivals. We have, for Paul, only for Paul, the Samurai Trilogy. More samurai movies, directed by Hiroshi Inagaki and starring the inimitable Toshiro Mifune. These are based on a novel that's often been called Japan's Gone with the Wind. Sweeping saga, 3 movies, 1954, 1955, 1956. Way back when. It's the Samurai Trilogy on Criterion. This was one of my what do you call it? Something you've been looking for ages. I don't know. But yeah, thanks to people like John and folk like that, I managed to pick up the majority of Wes Anderson Blu-rays. Because as soon as that box set got announced in America, the Wes Anderson Criterion Blu-rays started to be a little bit scarce. I had a couple in, but I was missing quite a few. But now this week I've got the last one, which is Moonlight Kingdom. Really, Moonrise Kingdom. Really pleased to get this in this lavish Criterion release. There it is, packed full of all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that is great. So finally got those Criterion Wes Anderson films all on Blu-ray. That's about 6 altogether, isn't it? Moonrise, Fantastic Fox, Bottle Rocket, Grand Budapest, Life Aquatic, and one other, I think. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So happy with that. And then finally, The Beast. It just it reminded me the other day, to be honest, of one of my youngsters in, Alex. And so you got Fallen Angels, Dave. You got Fallen Angels. Like, I can't get Fallen Angels, Alex, because you can't get it on a single edition in the UK. It's never been released on a single edition in the UK. You can only get it as part of this Criterion box set. And I'm like, can I justify that? I mean, yeah, you're getting a few. You're getting Fallen Angels, you're getting Happy Together, you're getting 2046 on Blu-ray. But I've got In the Mood for Love on Criterion. I've got Chungking Express on Blu-ray on Criterion. Like, can I justify spending this amount of money on a handful of films? I went for it anyway, because I thought, well, what I'll do, I'll flip In the Mood for Love and Chungking on eBay, maybe pull about 28, £30 back on those, which will knock off the price of that. And then we have The World of Wong Kar-wai in one lavish box set. And this is a lavish box set. Look at it. It's gorgeous. I'm dreading anyone renting from it because I still haven't got to grips with opening it yet. But I think we go like this. I think we go like that. I think we go like that. And then we go like that. And then we pull this thing out. And then we flip them all out in a line like so. And like, oh, you see, that's what happens. So I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to cause any damage. And then, but yeah, really great. Like I say, Fallen Angels have been asked for so many times, and I hate disappointing people. But it's a great set. It really is a lavish set. Just need to find out where to put it because it is quite thin. And I don't want it killing anybody really by falling on their heads. so I'll have to mull that over. But yeah, there we are. There we are. Hey, that's quite speedy. That's quite yeah, that's quite speedy. There we go. Great. So yeah, The World of One Car Y is finally in stock at Snips, and that concludes my quest to get the UK Criterion box sets, because we have Lone Wolf and Cub arriving tomorrow as well. So that's it. Just 45 Criterions to go until Christmas. That's the plan. Right, that's a lot. Let's just run through a few comments before we go in the 5 minutes that I have. Hard boiled tonight. Hard boiled. Yeah, should be good. Should be good. Right, what do we got? Thanks for watching again. Another great number of people watching, which is really, really cool. Yeah, the Slasher Classics controversy. I know. Yeah, I spoke to Rich, and he was kind of justifying it and saying, well, you know, if we release a Blu-ray and we release a 4K, everyone buys the 4K, but no one buys the Blu-ray. So we've manufactured this quantity of Blu-rays, but we're only selling a small amount. I understand, because, ultimately, they can't afford to waste money. They're a two-man team. They can't afford to throw money away on stuff that's not going to sell. So the idea was for them, well, let's do a dual format. Let's charge a little bit more money, and let's see how it goes. But there has been a fair bit of pushback to films like Sorority Babes, Sorority Girls, and Fade to Black. And yeah, Lee Marn says, must admit, I'm a bit miffed with these 4K Slasher Classics releases from 88. I supported the range from the beginning, and now I've got to shell out extra if I want to carry on. 101 Films, boo. Did a similar thing a while back with their Black Label range, and I ended up just not collecting any more of them. Yeah, it's interesting. But you can see, I'm no, yeah, they give me a few quid. Money for All Rope, 88 films, but if they need criticizing, I will criticize them. But I can understand the economics behind it, but I can also understand the frustration, because I know if I was Matty Budrewicz, for example, which I'm not, unfortunately. I wish I was. I'd be a far better writer. But if I was Matty Budrewicz, my long-standing partner, and I who doesn't have a 4K player, and he is a very money-conscious individual, he would, out of principle, say, no, that's it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a 4K just to get a Blu-ray. So he would pretty much be on Lee's side. He would say, no, not doing it. I'm sticking with Blu-ray. I'm not going any further. But because I've got a Blu-ray 4K player, it's like, I'm not really that bothered. And to me, I love dual format, because it means that someone can rent the 4K, and if they're not that bothered about the special features, they'll leave the Blu-ray here, and I can rent the Blu-ray to someone else. So it kind of benefits me, but I can see the issue. Del Bongo, Beethoven Second. Weirdly heartwarming that films like that are still getting watched these days. Yeah, that was the customer that was knocking on the door last Friday morning. Beethoven Second. It's crazy, the films that rent out. The kids' films goes for only £1, but it's crazy the films that rent out that you think, that must be streaming somewhere. But people like the physical. James Gaston says, oh yeah, we said about good, bad films. Both bad films that we just staunchly defend. So James says, good, bad films for me. Gods of Egypt. And Shadow in the Cloud, which I have never heard of. I don't know what Shadow in the Cloud is. I should have looked that up before I started. They are both supremely entertaining and deserve to be reevaluated by any serious cinephile. I'm afraid, James, that I could not even begin to watch Gods of Egypt in any capacity. Oh, Shadow in the Clouds, that's the Chloe Grace Moretz film. That looks quite good, to be honest. I quite fancy that. Looks all right. Anyway, moving on quickly. What do we got? Oh yeah, Matt says two bad films that will hold a special place for me are Krull and Hawk the Slayer. Growing up in the 80s, these were my comfort food when they came on TV. Both had amazing casts, Jack Palance in particular in Hawk, as well as incredible soundtracks. As a kid, Hawk's Mind Sword and Colwyn's Glaive were as iconic as Luke's lightsaber. All right. Both also feature great performances from the brilliant Bernard Bresslaw. Hey, I recognise the thick, nostalgic glasses I'm wearing, but the 80s really delivered a suite of fantasy films that were not based on existing IP. That's true. I couldn't watch a fantasy film to save my life, unfortunately. But I admire the way that they were creating films in that era that were not a constant retread of things that have gone before. Originality, really, very, very cool. Paul Berryman does the Lord's work by telling me that there is a umbrella Blu-ray of The Chaser, which is great. Oop. So it's very, very pricey, very, very pricey. So if I see that for a good price, then I will pick it up. That's a Blu-ray of The Chaser, which is a great film and deserves an upgrade. John says it's amazing to visit Snips. The video store has been helping with my mental health. I feel alive as I make my journey to the video store. I never know who I'm going to meet when I'm at the store, and I love chatting with fellow film enthusiasts about our shared passion for discovering and enjoying films. I really do feel lucky to live near Snips. Thank you, John. That's very touching, very touching. I remember watching Shaker Run. It's a great film. I love Shaker Run. That's the New Zealand Kiwi exploitation that I got last week. You have so many videotapes that Liz and I would love to watch again, so we might have to invest in a video player. The film I will defend till the day I die is Wild Wild West. Everyone's got their little quirks for the films they defend. For Freddie Duncan, it's 1941, and I am in the Freddie Duncan camp. 1941 is one of my favourite films of all time. Freddie will defend it till I die, till he dies, and so will I. My grandfather loved that movie. He's the one that pulled me into movies as well. Never forgot him watching this movie and laughing, and me asking him why he's laughing. But yeah, 1941 is great. John Young says, rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Yeah, not a great fan of Chuck Norris. Unfortunately, there won't be a Chuck Norris memoriam section, I'm afraid to say. Chuck Norris voted in favor of Proposition 8 in 2008, which was a law to ban same-sex marriage in America. That's something I will defend vehemently. And I know we sometimes have to defend separate the art from the artist, but in some cases, I don't think it's possible. Brick builds. If you build it, they will come. It seems as though years of passion you put into this, Dave, are really starting to pay dividends. Fantastic to hear you speak of the community that the store has built up, interacting and enjoying the store together. Yeah, it's the best part of the job. It really is the best part of the job. It really is great to see people from different walks of life, different ages, and with different interests crossing paths. James says, what film noir did you end up watching, Dave? My favourites would be Murder My Sweet, Out of the Past, This Gun for Hire, Double Indemnity, and The Maltese Falcon, all classics, James. I actually ended up watching Stranger on the Third Floor, the new Warner Archive Blu-ray. It's considered to be the first ever film noir, and it has a lot of influence from German Expressionism. It's a great piece of work. It's a short film, 64 minutes, but it's good. And Peter Lorre is in it, and Peter Lorre is great in everything. Jonah Fish, another great episode. My wife and I made. See, Jonah Fish went to the New Bev. See, if he was there next month, he could see William Bodine films. Jonah Fish went to the New Bev. What did he watch with his wife at the New Bev? Not only a double bill of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and Motorcycle. I mean, what a dream. What a dream to go to New Bev and to watch two Russ Meyer films in a double bill. That is the double bill of there's a heavenly double bill. Keith Rich says Restless Natives is so good. It's one of my favorite film discoveries from this year. Yeah, to be honest, Ed, who rented Restless Natives, was absolutely blown away by it. He loved it to bits. So that's great to see. I must watch that. I got a Dave Pennebaker documentary in last week. I think it was Company. Paul says that Pennebaker is known to me for Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Right, that's interesting. I didn't know that. GHGFFD, excited to hear your thoughts on Alpha. Alpha came in last week. It's from the director of Raw and Titan. I'll be seeing it at my local independent theatre next weekend, where it's finally here in Canada. Probably my most anticipated film of the year. Well, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of Alpha. Late Night Double Feature says, you're so right about the kindness of the Snips community, Dave. It's wonderful to see. As for the bad movie question, I'm going with The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. To be clear, I recognize how bad it is. I'm covering up your bad language there. I recognize how bad it is. Awful performances from Linda Blair, Richard Burton, and even Louise Fletcher. Laughable storyline, and the use of the ridiculous synchronizer, the biofeedback device used by two people to synchronize their brainwaves. With all against it, I watch it yearly with great love and affection. Well, isn't that great? Isn't that great? See, no one sets out to make a bad movie. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie. And sometimes we just have to appreciate that some things don't quite work out the way they intended. Maureen rightfully points out that I misgendered Mitsuyo Miyazaki last week. Mitsuyo Miyazaki wrongly misgendered them. Woman, female filmmaker, and I accidentally said he. So I apologize for that schoolboy error. But thankfully, we have great people on hand to correct me of such stupidity. Freddie, again, Crash and Burn arrived, his competition entry. Great to hear, which is great. And Freddie's been watching The Forbidden City and The Big Heat from Johnny Toe. That's a great evening, Freddie. That's a great evening. John, I hope to see a section dedicated to the memory of Chuck Norris. Sorry, John, I've explained that, the whys and wherefores. John Young says, been after Fade to Black for a few years now, but I'm not spending £25 on it. Way too expensive. Just look for the DVD and it's £5 on eBay. That's fair, but it is a very bad transfer on that DVD, John. Very bad transfer. I think that'll be knocked down the new Blu-ray / 4K UHD fairly sharply. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. And also, John says that movies that I love that are not universally liked are Hudson Hawk, Freddy Got Fingered, and Neon Maniacs. Interesting choices. Okie dokie, that is around about it for today. Probably droned on a little bit too long. I'm going to go home. I'm going to recline on my new sofa. And I'm going to watch Hard Boiled, which is exciting, which I haven't seen for a very, very long time. And I hope it looks fantastic. Okie dokie. Be back next week with some Vinegar Syndrome titles. Vinegar Syndrome is due in on Monday, so we'll have those to go through on next week's show, as well as a very, very fine week of boutique release. It is the last week of the month, so we got a pretty nice spread of films. A quick mention. Forgot the tapes last week, so let's go through those very, very quickly before I disappear. And I must admit, this is probably one of my most exciting purchases of the year. As you know, I co-wrote the biography on Gary Graver, which, if you haven't got, it is very competitively priced at the moment. I know I haven't plugged it for quite some time, but always worth a plug just to finish off the show. So you can end the video now. Nothing interesting coming up, but We Must Shoot, The Life and Art of Gary Graver, which was a pleasure to write over 5 years. It's a good book. It tells the story of a forgotten man of Hollywood. Gary did a lot of porn, but he also did a few erotic thrillers, some of which you can't find for love nor money on physical media. But I found one, really, really excited. Here it is. It's the Escort 2. The Escort 2, put out by Third Millennium in 1998. And yeah, just absolutely so thrilled to get my very own copy of that. I've had it on a bootleg DVD for quite some time. But yeah, I saw that the other night, and it's not his best work by any means. But it's just nice to own something with Gary Graver's name on it, other than a Fred Olen Ray film. So yeah, that is great. That's one of my favorite ever VHS purchases, and I love that artwork. I love that sleeve. I mean, it's so iconic, isn't it? Imagine walking into a video store in 1998 and seeing that on the shelf. Incredible. And in other news, I have finished. I'm on a quest, as you know, or as you may not know, to collect every Gregory Dark erotic thriller. There are 14 in total. I picked up my 8th this week, which I was really thrilled about. But not only was it my 8th Gregory Dark erotic thriller on tape, but it completed my Animal Instincts collection. So there we are. Animal Instincts 1, 2, and 3 on VHS. Just so thrilled to get these on tape. I love these films to bits. They're amazing pieces of cinema. I mean, if you look at Animal Instincts 3, I mean, for God's sake, you have Shannon Worry stars in it, who is one of the best actresses that ever did it. It's edited by Bob Murawski, an Oscar-winning editor. It's shot by Wally Pfister, an Academy Award-winning DP. And yeah, it's directed by Greg Dark, one of the greatest erotic thriller filmmakers, one of the greatest XXX filmmakers that ever existed. So yeah, very, very exciting. So that's it. We're out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your patience while I drone on incessantly for an hour at a time. And hopefully, if you're a masochist, you will join me in 7 days' time.